Do you have a negative Nancy or a negative Nathaniel on your team? And are you trying to figure out ways to help motivate them so that they will move forward in a more positive mindset? If so, today's video is for you. Hi, I am Barika Andrews, and I am a leadership coach. I have been leading for over 15 years, and I've led more than 18 teams. And I primarily work with people who are either new to leadership or in a transition point where they found like they have gotten stuck and they need a little bit of help and some strategies to move from being stuck to success. And in today's video, we are going to talk about how to get employees to move out of that negative space if they are in that, we used to call it the swamp, if they have that swamp mentality. And also, as a bonus, I'm going to include what you should do as a leader if you find that you are in a negative space and you need help kind of getting out of that space, or you need some strategies with helping to get out of that negative space. So I'll share that at the end. So the first thing that we want to know is that we cannot control anyone. Let that set you free. As a leader, when I came to that realization that I cannot control anyone, it just changed my total mindset and the way that I did things. And you may say, well, Bariko, I can't change anyone. Well, how does that help me as a leader? Well, as a leader, understanding that you can't change anyone tends to shift your mindset out of trying to get people to do stuff into looking at how to inspire them to do something. Because once you know, people either will or they won't follow you. There is no in between. Either they're following you or they're not. So once you know that, you can say, okay, how can I inspire people to want to follow? And when you start to think from that mindset as a leader, then it changes the way that you interact with people and the way that you lead your team. So now, since we're clear on the fact that we can't control people, now let's look at ways that we can inspire them to want to move from that negative mindset into a positive mindset. So one thing that we can do is we can try to encourage our team to focus on gratitude. So maybe have in a meeting, share one thing that you're grateful for. Have people do that during every meeting, or, depending on how frequently you meet, or even in your one-on-ones. Hey, can you share something that you're grateful for, to kind of get that to the forefront of their thinking? Because if it takes them a long time to think about one thing that they're thankful for, that lets you know that they're in a really, really negative mindset and they might need some help just even recognizing that, because sometimes people just get so used to being in that mindset that they don't realize how it really looks on the outside in and just how unhealthy it is for them as well. So being able to help bring the attention to the positive and being intentional with having your team focus on the positive is going to be awesome. Now, again, another thing I want to say is that depending on the situation, some things you may want to do group wise, and there's some things you want to do to work on the individuals. I would have that positive share moment with the group so that it becomes a part of our team culture. But I would also work with the individual employee so that I can help them to become more like what we are expecting or hoping for on the team. Next, what you want to do is to encourage employees to focus on positive things and surround themselves with positivity. So whether it's positive statements, one of the things I used to love to do is to write positive notes and give it to the employees. You'll be surprised. You'll see them post it at their desk or post it somewhere where it's visible. Because unfortunately in this world, sometimes people don't get all of the positivity and recognition that they need. So with your employee, you want to tread a fine line, because you don't want to cross over into trying to do counseling with them, because you're not a counselor, you're a leader. But you do want to share with them, hey, I heard this awesome song the other day. Why don't you take a listen to it? So it could be an upbeat, up-tempo song, or you watched an awesome, inspiring movie. You can just make mention of those kind of things. Like, oh, I watched this movie the other day. Guys, when you get a chance, definitely check it out. It was amazing. It just really put me in a great mood, or, whatever it is. You can share these moments with your team and even with that individual without, saying, hey, I want you to watch this because I want you to get out of that negative thinking. Like, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to be strategic, right? We're going to be strategic. So next, this is one that I actually personally have been working on, because I tend to be very forward thinking, like all the time. Like, that's been a habit. And so I'm learning this one, which is practice mindfulness. So I haven't personally had it in the negativity space, but it was just like always being like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? So I am practicing mindfulness, which means that to be present in the moment, because sometimes we can have these moments where we're doing things, we're around people and we're not fully there. So we can help the employees, try to focus on that mindfulness by being intentional and asking questions like, what are you thinking about right now? Or even you can have maybe some in your team meetings, you can discuss mindfulness and how it is helpful because you can talk about things in a generic way with your team if you think it's going to help them. So you can talk about mindfulness practices that can say, okay, how can we ensure that we are there and present in the moment when we're interacting with each other? Because what you have to say is important and what I have to say is important. So if I was having a team meeting, just how I just said that, that's how I would say it with the team. Okay, guys, so I just learned about mindfulness this week and I'm learning a little bit more about it. So I'm going to share with you guys what I've learned about it. And then I'll go on to share some points about mindfulness just so it can get their mind thinking. Because I will tell you, exposure is one of the things that changes people. And so when you see people going in a certain direction, them being exposed to other ways of thinking, that can help them shift the direction and change the way that they're doing things. Okay. Also, we want to encourage our teams to be focused on solutions. So that's going to be one thing where you can build it into your culture as well as your expectations that yes, we may encounter problems, but at the end of the day, we are here to solve problems. That is why this company's paying us. That's why I'm here as a leader. That's why you're here. I want us to get along. I want us to have a great time together. But at the end of the day, we are here to solve problems. Okay. And so when we focus on finding the solution and being more solution minded, then it's going to change our perspective. I was listening to someone talking the other day about how there was this motorcycle racing. I'm totally not into motorcycle racing, but some guy who designs motorcycles. And over 10 years, they were able to get this massive amount of horsepower into this engine. I think he only makes one motorcycle at a time. I promise you, I don't know the man's name. I probably should, but anyway. But he makes one motorcycle at a time. His whole company will make one motorcycle at a time, but it's because they have perfected a certain skill and they keep trying to get better and better and better. And so they'll keep looking at it from different angles to look for different ways to make things better. Even though things are great with the engine or with the motorcycle itself, each time they produce a new motorcycle, they're looking for at least one thing that they can do better. Okay. And because they've done that over several years, they have come up with a very, very fast motorcycle. So I use that as an example of when we are intentional about looking at solutions and being solution minded, we have that way of making things better and better and better. Now, this one is something I'm also big on. And again, I would have this as a group discussion, but then also from the group discussion, I can have that one-on-one discussion with the employee. So this is showing yourself. I use the term self-love. I wouldn't necessarily use that with employees, but I'll say self-care with employees. But if I'm in my friend group, I'm going to say, hey, girls, show yourself some self-love, or I'm having a self-love day, kind of thing. But we want to encourage our employees to take care of themselves, to do those things that are going to make them smile, that are going to make them feel better, that are going to relax them, that are going to just help them to present their best self and to feel more confident because they are bringing their best foot forward. And then this is where you can kind of work individually with the employee, depending on how comfortable you feel with them. But you can encourage them to focus on acknowledging when they're having a negative thought, like maybe even if they have just a little post-it note that they keep for themselves, it's more for them than for you. But it's like every time they have a negative thought, just kind of, jot it down so that they can actually see like, oh my gosh, like, because sometimes people also get in that negative space and they think what they're doing is it becomes their new norm and then they get stuck. And so we want to do what we can to get them unstuck, right? And the last thing I'm going to say is that we want to celebrate those victories, those small victories. So those small wins like, hey, you got to work on time and you had breakfast this morning too. On top of it, that's a small victory. Depending on what they're trying to overcome or whatever their personal goals are that they're willing to share with you at work and that they want to share with you at work, you can celebrate those small victories for them. So, okay, like, if we have a fitness challenge and everyone doesn't have to join it, but it's say, okay, a group of us decided to do a fitness challenge. Let's, keep each other accountable. Like what small victory? Oh, you went to the gym today. Oh, you worked out when you didn't feel like it. Oh, you didn't eat the donut when you wanted to eat the donut, small victories, right? So that's, depending on how you build the camaraderie with your team, you know how you do it. And if you don't know how you do it, I will link a video to help you. I do have some training on team building, but that is in my 90-day leadership boot camp, which is going to start in the next couple of days. So go ahead and check it out and learn more if you want to know more. And if the boot camp is closed at the time that you see this video, you can just click on the link and then sign up for the wait list. And then that way, when the next boot camp opens next year, then you will be able to go ahead and get the information. So now I have a question for you. What have you done before to pull yourself out of a negative rut? Leave it for me in the comments. I want to know. So here is the bonus. If you are a leader that is currently feeling like you're in a negative state of mind, just know that A, you're not alone. B, sometimes this just happens. And so the thing is, we need to identify why it's happening. In my last video, which I'll link here, I talked about the danger of allowing anything toxic or negative that's in your environment to get either in your heart or in your mind. So if you have found that, maybe life circumstances have happened and you're feeling like maybe disappointed or discouraged, just know that that is something that we all kind of can encounter at some point in time in our life. And depending on the situation and your circumstances, you may actually need to go get some professional help in order to help you with it, whether that's counseling, whether that is therapy, or basically you want to work with someone who's trained to give you strategies to A, dig down to the root of what's happening, and B, to give you strategies to be successful. And of course, you can do your own research as well. It just depends on what you feel like you need to do. But sometimes it's really good to talk to someone who's actually trained in it. But, if you have enough life disappointments back to back to back, that can lead you into discouragement. And discouragement is like when a person, they have no sense of hope, right? And so if you still have that feeling like, yes, one day it's going to get better. Yes, one day things are going to go well. If I stick in there, if I hang out in this, something is going to improve, then that's a little bit more healthy as far as a mental state. However, if you are in a state where you can't see anything positive, where it just feels like gray skies and that things will never change, that's definitely when you want to go out and seek some professional help. And I am a leadership coach, so I'm not going to give a whole bunch of strategies about that. But I will say that when you start to speak to people who are trained in those fields to help you manage or identify, put a name to your emotions, and then get to the root cause of why you're feeling that way, and also give you strategies to help you move forward, then that's going to help you be successful. And just know that the best leaders have coaches in lots of different arenas. Okay. So just know that it is okay to ask for help. And that's actually a strength, is asking for help when you need it versus trying to push through or trying to figure it out. And even identifying that something may be a little off here. So I may need to investigate it or may need to talk to someone who can help investigate and get down to the root cause. Sometimes that is actually a strength as well. Okay. So I'm just going to mention again that the launch of the next 90-day leadership bootcamp is coming up. And I just would encourage you to at least check out the information. It is a total of like 36 video lessons, as well as you get 2 one-on-one sessions with me. And I think it's a great, great, great program. For those who have completed the program in the past, they've gotten a ton of benefits out of it. I've had leaders as early as brand new to leadership come through the program, as well as leaders who are 5, 10 years into their leadership career. So definitely, I would encourage you to check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, make it a great day. Take care. Bye.